Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Virginia Amos. I'm a realtor with Caldwell Banker in Old Town, and this is the 24th episode of From Our House to Yours. Now, today I don't have a special guest with me. I just kind of wanted to catch up. It's been about a week since I've been on air, all sorts of things going on. So today I want to talk a little bit about the real estate market because, my friends, it is hot. It is as hot as the temperature is going to be here in July and August. I kid you not. And it's for a whole, it's for a whole variety of reasons. So first of all, we have really low inventory. Anybody can tell you that. There are very few for sale signs, and when they do come up, everybody jumps on them. We have very low interest rates, which is just a wonderful thing for many, many people. And we also have, it just makes it so much easier for people to get into the market. And combined with those low interest rates are some parameters. For instance, with VA loans and FHA loans, our in-house lender now can deal with people who have credit scores as low as 600. So having that perfect credit score is no longer the big issue it used to be. It still plays into the kind of loan you can get and what you're going to pay for it. But it's a lot more flexibility, and it just opens the pool for people to get into the market. But I think in addition to those two things, and don't discount those at all, but let's also look at what has happened over the past 4 months. Our world has been turned topsy-turvy, and people's ideas about what they need to be comfortable, how they want to live, even where they want to live has changed. And not because maybe they just had a change of heart, but they're all of a sudden realizing that some of the things that worked before don't work now, and things that were, say, not important before are important now. One of the best examples I can think of is a couple that we helped buy a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condominium last spring. It was absolutely perfect for them. They did a lot of work. It looks great. And they had always planned, and they had said this at the very beginning, that they would stay there about 2 years, and then they would start looking for a single family house. And they had certain areas in mind. And so we were always going on that supposition. Well, one half of the couple travels constantly as a consultant, 3 airplanes in a week, Monday through Friday. Well, all of a sudden, that came to like a screeching halt. The work still had to be done. It's just that it wasn't being done on the road. So now they're in their perfectly lovely condominium, but there's no office. There's no real workspace. They're there with other family members, and you can't get away from that. So I got a call from them about 2 weeks ago, and trust me, this was a situation just that really dropped in their lap. But they had an opportunity to purchase a single family house. And this house is not originally where they thought they would go. And it is a large, large house. much larger than probably they had ever imagined. But given the circumstances and given that we don't know how much longer this new reality will continue, how much longer travel will be restricted, and that they would have started looking in 9 months anyway. It just made sense for them to go ahead and take this leap. Now, like I said, this is a story that it doesn't apply. The way things happened was totally serendipitous. But it's the kind of rethinking that people are doing. Gosh, maybe I really do need a workspace, a permanent workspace, a workspace with a door, a workspace where the kids can't come in, more than a card table set up in the corner. I need a workspace. And this isn't just individuals who are thinking this. We know that companies are rethinking what it means to have everybody come in every day to the office. Even the federal government, which has been notoriously reluctant to have people work from home for long periods of time, has had to adjust to that. So there's a whole shift in attitude and in logistics, and actually in the reality of what work looks like now. So that is really a biggie, and it's driving people who were interested anyway in buying, or all of a sudden find a real need to buy. So what it means is that everything is going above list price. There are multiple offers. We have our office meeting on Tuesdays, and we always hear these great stories about how many showings and how many offers. And I think yesterday heard an incredible one. House in Arlington, there were 30 offers. Now, I don't know what the house looked like. I don't know anything about it, but that is an astounding number of offers. So let's talk about what happens in that situation. And, if you're a first-time buyer, it can be really a little bit intimidating and a little bit, frustrating if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So I would say to you, you need two things. You need a terrific agent that you trust and you have confidence in, and who's willing to tell you the hard reality of going after a house in this market. And for me, and what I saw in a house that we're closing on Friday that had multiple offers, it was all about no contingencies, no home inspection, no financing contingency, no, certainly no rent backs, certainly not a house to sell, because that will get you nowhere, and no appraisal contingency. Now, all of that sounds really scary up front to someone who has never done this before. But if you sit down and walk through each step and walk through the scenarios of what you need to do and why you need to do it, then it starts not to be as scary and it starts to make more sense. Obviously, not basing it on selling another house is just kind of a no-brainer and a given. That's been the case for any number of months now. A home inspection, you often just get a sense of the shape a house is in, and I don't want to say that you go by your intuition, but you know whether or not there are buckles in the floor, or the roof is is the ceilings are saggy. But you can also order a pre-home inspection. I had 4 of them on a property. They're easy to schedule. It's making the time. It's having your agent get in there and do it. Now it's going to cost you. The reality is it's going to cost you some money, $500 to $600, and if you don't get the house, if you don't win the offer, then that's money that you're out. There's no way to get around that. By the same token, if you do get the house, then that's money that was well spent. You can look at the problems ahead of time. You can, again, you go through it with your agent and with your inspector, and you figure out what you can live with, and if there are things that you can't live with, and that may be the deciding factor. But before you put in an offer is really the time to find that out. So keep that in the back of your head as a just something that you should think about doing. And the other thing is that you want a really good lender, and this is where the financing contingency and the appraisal comes in. It's a little scary to think about waiving the appraisal, but again, if you have an agent who has really done their homework and can look at a property and give you the comps for surrounding areas, and you can get a really, really good idea of whether that appraisal is going to come in. Now, I have to laugh a little bit. This house on Friday that we're closing on, it's one of the shortest streets in Delray, and there literally have been 5 houses sold there in the past 3 months. So comps were like no problem whatsoever for the buyers who were coming in there, and actually one of the houses 2 doors down from ours closed that very morning, and I could hand the appraiser a sheet and say, look, this is what this one appraised for. And so that one worked out really well. But again, your agent can do terrific comps, and you can have a really good feeling about what's going to happen with the property that you're interested in. The other thing is if you have, and please always have a local lender. It is so important. The lenders are the ones who order appraisals. And if they are drawing, and there are some lenders, they're the ones I like, who specify that their appraisers have to live within a certain radius of the properties that they're appraising. And that makes a huge difference. You don't want somebody from Rockville, Maryland, an appraiser, nothing wrong with Rockville, but you don't want an appraiser from Rockville, Maryland coming down to appraise a property in Alexandria, especially in Delray. Delray is its own little enclave. And the reverse is true too. Who wants an appraiser from Old Town going to Bethesda or Rockville? They're different scenarios. So a local lender is going to use local appraisers. And in fact, that's one of the things that you can ask when you're looking for a lender is, where do you draw your appraisers from? It's really, really important for you to have that information. The other thing that people worry about in terms of financing and appraisals is, particularly first-time homeowners don't want to pay PMI or private mortgage insurance. The thing is, and I'm not going to walk you through the numbers because that's not my that's not my bailiwick. But PMI is often not as expensive as you think it is. And if it's a choice, think about it this way. If you have the choice of winning the house of your dreams at least the dream of 2020, by eliminating the financing contingency, eliminating the appraisal contingency, and instead you're going to have to pay private mortgage insurance. Which one are you going to choose? I mean, is it worth it to you not to pay private mortgage insurance, but lose out on the offer? That's where a lender, again, can really walk you through the scenarios. They can help you decide the best amount to put down. If you can go in with, for instance, let's say you're only going to put 5% down. You've got more, but you choose to put 5% down. For whatever reason, the appraisal comes back and it's $10,000 less than the price that you've agreed on. If you have held back, some of your money only to do a 5% down payment, then you actually have cash where you can make up the difference in that appraisal. That's a really simplistic scenario. Again, you want to talk to your lender, but there are so many things to take into consideration. It's not just, okay, let's just check off the boxes, and I'm going to ask for all of these things. You can't ask for them, and B, you shouldn't ask for them. So that's where your agent and your lender really, really come into play, and they should be working together. This is not, pitting one against the other, and one is going to tell you one thing, one is going to tell you the other. They should really be working together, and they should be working in your best interest. So it takes a strong stomach to go out and look for properties these days. There's no two ways about it, but don't be discouraged, and don't be discouraged if you don't get your offer accepted the first time around. Sometimes it's a sliver of difference. And you just don't know. The other thing I would tell you is your agent should always be in touch with the other agent. First, when they're putting in the offer, you want them to ask, are there any special considerations that the sellers want? In this most recent case for me, my sellers wanted a really quick close. They're retiring, they're moving to Europe. They wanted a really quick close. And so that was for us the end of June. I had one offer that actually came in with a closing date of the 15th of July. And I just thought to myself, you didn't really listen to me when you called and asked what my buyers wanted. So that's really important. And the other thing is, and this is a smart thing to do, I keep I'm telling myself, but I keep a notebook, and after every transaction is closed, whether I'm the listing agent or I'm the buying agent, I have a section in what I learned, because every transaction is different, and I learn something different every time I do a sale. And I just make notes to myself, and it's a really good reminder how simple it is to not read a description thoroughly, not to note, for instance, a quick close. So you have to remind yourself of those things. And one of the good things, one of the learning tools is that if you don't have your offer accepted, ask your agent to go back and talk to, and generally they're going to do this anyway, but go back and talk to the listing agent and say, is there any way I could have made my offer stronger, or was the gap just too wide? If there were escalation clauses, somebody just escalated too much. is there something I could do to make my offer stronger? And you can really learn from that. I think it's one of the best things that agents can do, and it's both for themselves and for their clients. So that's kind of where things are in the market right now. It's exciting. It's frustrating. It's a good time to be a seller. So if any of you out there are looking to put your house in the market, I would absolutely love to talk to you. I've gotten a couple of calls in the past week saying, "Hey, we're really thinking about it. Do you think this is going to hold up?" And I am yes, yes, yes. This urgency, this low inventory situation, it's not going away anytime soon. So if you were ever on the fence and you thought it was time to go, whether you're retiring, going to another city, downsizing, it's a great time. So that's it kind of on my real estate update. We'll bring back some numbers at the end of the month and let you see what's going on. So I teased you a little bit and said that I had a big announcement, and I do. After my interview, oh gosh, it's been 2 weeks now, I guess, with the incomparable Mary Wadlin of the Zebra Press and the recently created ZTV. And I love that name, ZTV. Mary has invited me to come on and create my own show on ZTV. It will be named none other than the Virginia Amos Show. We like to keep it simple, and I'm going to be doing a lot of what I'm doing here. I'm talking to the people, the businesses, and the organizations that make Alexandria a great place to live. I will just be doing it on ZTV on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. I'm very excited. It's a great platform. Mary has the energy of a pack of lions, or as I have learned, that a herd of zebras is known as a dazzle. So I'm going to be dazzling on ZTV. I think it's very exciting. My first time up will be tomorrow night. And we'll see how it goes. I'm still going to be here. I'm still going to be bringing you real estate information, and we're still going to be having guests. I really don't know how we're going to divide things up. It's kind of a work in progress, but it was a great opportunity, and I decided that I did not want to pass on one more chance to talk to people about living in Alexandria and how absolutely terrific we think it is. So that's kind of where we are. We're going to be here the whole summer. We're not going anywhere, till October. I know people are taking vacations, but we're going to hold off for late October. So we will be here through the summer, through the heat. And that's really it for this week. I'm absolutely delighted that you joined us today. And if you're still listening, if you'll hit the share button on your little Facebook page, then it will, take this out for the whole wide world to see. And we love that. So until next week, when I will be back doing something, we will we'll be thinking about you. We hope that you will watch us tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, the Virginia Amos Show on ZTV. And for now, we are going to call it a day. So again, thank you for being with us. Oh my gosh, I have all of these comments and I didn't even see them. You have to press this button for comments. And oh, Mary, thank you so much. She said, that's right, a dazzle. Okay, so now that I have my comments, I can see those. I am going to take off and go fix some baba ganoush. We roasted the eggplants last night, and I can't wait. So, till next week, till Thursday night, see you, everybody. Bye.